Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another great lesson with English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
Erica, today we have a great intermediate lesson.
That's right. We've got a lesson about love.
About love.
And about apologizing.
Okay. Love and apologizing.
They go together.
Yes, they do, especially if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, right?
That's true.
Okay, so why don't we start by looking at our vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
In today's vocabulary preview, we will learn 2 important words from our dialogue. What's the first word?
Knock over.
Knock over.
Knock over.
Knock over.
So that's a really simple one. When you knock something over,
You make it fall down.
make it fall down.
Yep. Speaking of knocking things over, this morning I knocked over my coffee cup all over my desk.
Yeah, I saw that. You
Yeah.
almost ruined our lesson plan for today.
Yes, I did. It was all over the place.
Okay, let's look at our second word. Explode.
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 So when something explodes, this is what happens.
All right, that's pretty clear.
That's more than clear, I think. So now we've looked at our 2 vocabulary preview words for this dialogue, and we are ready to listen to it for the first time.
Whoa, what's going on? Watch out!
Hey, watch where you're going.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Are you alright?
I don't know.
I feel terrible. I really didn't mean to knock you over. My tire just exploded and I lost control of my bike. Really, it was an accident. Please accept my apologies.
Just let me try to stand up. You seem really familiar. I think I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've met somewhere before. We met at Aaron's place last weekend. What a coincidence. But anyway, I'm glad to see you're not badly hurt, and I should probably get going. I've got a 9 o'clock meeting. But here's my number. Call me and we'll exchange insurance information.
Ouch! My ankle. I think it's broken. You can't just leave me like this. Are you calling an ambulance?
Nope, I'm canceling my appointment so that...
I love happy endings.
Such a romantic dialogue.
Yeah, this guy. Oh my God, he is amazing. I would love to meet a guy like that.
Like that? Like crashing into you?
Maybe not like that. Okay, well, I think it's time to look at some of the language in this dialogue. Let's start with our language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Today, we have 3 important words from our dialogue that we will learn for our language takeaway. The first word is familiar.
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 This one, I think, is a little bit hard to explain.
Yeah, so let's listen to some examples on how we use familiar.
Example 1.
Norman Clark. That name sounds familiar. Where have I heard it before?
Example 2.
Do you know where we are?
I have no idea. Nothing looks familiar. I think we're lost.
Example 3.
You look really familiar. Did we go to high school together?
So when something's familiar, you think you know it, but you're not exactly sure.
Exactly. Familiar.
Okay. Our next word is
Place.
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 Aaron's place.
Exactly. So when we refer to place, we refer to house.
Right. So I can say, hey, Marco, come over to my place for dinner tonight.
Exactly. Or I could say, we're having a party at my place tonight at 8.
You might ask someone, how's your new place?
Right.
How's your new apartment?
Exactly. That's a good one.
Yep.
So place, it's a house.
Right. Our final word today is
Coincidence.
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 So again, we have some great examples for you to understand how we use coincidence.
Example 1.
I'm going to New York this weekend.
What a coincidence. I am too.
Example 2.
By coincidence, everyone in the room was named Alex.
Example 3.
We met by pure coincidence. One day we ran into each other on our bikes, and we've been together ever since.
A coincidence is something that happens by chance, right?
Right. You didn't plan it. It just happened.
Yeah, these funny little things happen all the time. I love it when these coincidences happen.
Yeah, they're great. So Erica, why don't you tell us about a coincidence that's happened to you?
Well, the other night I was having dinner in a restaurant, and I looked up and I saw my old professor from university. It was such a coincidence because here we are in Shanghai and I see my professor from Canada having dinner at the table next to me. It was such a coincidence.
That is a coincidence.
Yeah.
Or has it ever happened to you that you're thinking of someone and that person calls you?
That happens all the time.
That's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have learned these 3 language takeaway words, we can listen to our dialogue a second time, but this time it's going to be slower.
Hey, watch where you're going.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Are you all right?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel terrible. I didn't mean to knock you over. My tire just exploded and I lost control of my bike. Really, it was an accident. Please accept my apologies.
Just let me try to stand up. Oh, wait a second. You seem really familiar. I think I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, I think we have met somewhere before. That's right. We met at Aaron's place last weekend. What a coincidence. But anyway, I'm glad to see that you're not badly hurt, and I should probably get going. I have a 9 o'clock meeting. But here's my number. Call me and we'll exchange insurance information.
Ouch! My ankle. I think it's broken. You can't just leave me like this. Are you calling an ambulance?
No, I'm canceling my appointment so that I can stay here with you.
Well, that was much clearer, wasn't it?
Yes, that was clearer, and this brings us to Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
In today's Fluency Builder, we're going to show you different ways of apologizing. It's so important to be able to apologize well and fluently.
Exactly, and you also want to say something different from I'm sorry.
Right.
So that's what we're going to show you today.
We heard some great expressions for I'm sorry in the dialogue. Let's listen now.
I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. Please accept my apologies. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. Please accept my apologies.
Yeah, I feel terrible. I say this one all the time.
Yeah, it's a great way of saying I'm sorry. Now, also, if you want to say I'm sorry, you also want to tell the person that you made a mistake, right?
That's true. And we did hear some wonderful expressions for I made a mistake in this dialogue.
I didn't mean to knock you over. It was an accident. I didn't mean to knock you over. It was an accident.
Well, I didn't mean to knock my coffee cup over this morning.
Exactly. It was an accident.
It was.
Not on purpose, right?
Or so you think.
Okay. So all of these phrases are really useful and great for apologizing and telling someone you made a mistake.
Well, it's time for us to listen to our dialogue a third time. This time it'll be at its normal speed, and I think you'll be able to understand a little bit better.
Whoa, what's going on? Watch out!
Hey, watch where you're going.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Are you alright?
I don't know.
I feel terrible. I really didn't mean to knock you over. My tire just exploded and I lost control of my bike. Really, it was an accident. Please accept my apologies.
Just let me try to stand up. You seem really familiar. I think I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've met somewhere before. We met at Aaron's place last weekend. What a coincidence. But anyway, I'm glad to see you're not badly hurt, and I should probably get going. I've got a 9 o'clock meeting. But here's my number. Call me and we'll exchange insurance information.
Ouch! My ankle. I think it's broken. You can't just leave me like this. Are you calling an ambulance?
Nope, I'm canceling my appointment so that I can stay.
Great dialogue and great music, right?
Wonderful music. Who picked that, Marco?
Of course, me. I'm a romantic type. I love romantic music.
Really?
Yes.
Well, speaking of a romantic type, do you believe in love at first sight?
I kind of do.
Really?
I'd like to believe it. Yeah, well,
That surprises me.
well, I think the first time that you see someone, it impresses you some way and you feel attracted to that person.
Really?
Yeah. At least it's the first feeling that you get that makes you want to talk to that person or get to know that person.
I am the exact opposite.
Really?
When I see somebody for the first time, my first impression is always wrong.
Ah, okay.
So if I see someone and I like them at the beginning, in 3 weeks I'll hate them. And if I see someone and I don't like them when I first meet them, I'll be their best friend.
Yeah.
So love at first sight doesn't work for me.
I'm sure that our listeners have some stories at love at first sight. Maybe they met their wives or their boyfriends in this way.
I'd like to hear about it.
Me too. And if anybody knows the name of the songs we used, also be sure to post it on the discussion board.
That's right. Our challenge for this week.
Our challenge for this lesson.
Yeah.
So that's all for today, everyone. But be sure to go to our website at englishpod.com. And as we said, leave all your comments, your stories, and see if you know the name of the songs.
The meaning and power of love. Love is one of the most powerful and beautiful emotions that humans can experience. It is a universal feeling that connects people across the world, no matter their culture, language, or background. Love can take many forms: love for family, friends, a partner, or even oneself. Each type of love has its own importance, and together they form the foundation of human life. What is love? Love is not just a word or a feeling. It is an action, a choice, and a commitment. Love means caring for someone deeply, understanding their joys and sorrows, and being there for them through good and bad times. It is about accepting people as they are, with all their strengths and weaknesses. True love is not selfish. It gives without expecting anything in return. Love can be small, like a kind word or a smile. It can also be big, like sacrificing your time, energy, or even your dreams for someone else. Love is what makes life meaningful. Without love, the world would feel empty and cold. The different forms of love. Love is not limited to one kind. It appears in many forms, each with its own beauty. 1. Family love. This is the first kind of love most people experience. It is the bond between parents, children, and siblings. Family love teaches us how to care for others and provides us with a sense of safety and belonging. 2. Friendship love. True friends are like a second family. Friendship love is built on trust, shared experiences, and mutual support. A good friend is someone who listens to you, laughs with you, and stands by you. 3. Romantic love. Romantic love is the deep connection between two people who choose to share their lives. It is about passion, companionship, and growing together. Romantic love requires trust, respect, and communication to flourish. 4. Self-love. Loving yourself is just as important as loving others. Self-love means valuing who you are, taking care of your mental and physical health, and believing in your worth. When you love yourself, you are better able to love others. 5. Love for humanity. This is the love that goes beyond individuals. It is the desire to help others, to make the world a better place, and to show kindness to strangers. Love for humanity is the basis of compassion and generosity. Why is love important? Love is the glue that holds relationships together. It helps people overcome challenges, build strong connections, and find happiness. When people feel loved, they are more confident, peaceful, and motivated. Love also teaches important lessons like patience, forgiveness, and empathy. In difficult times, love gives us strength. It reminds us that we are not alone and that someone cares for us. Love can heal wounds, both physical and emotional. It has the power to bring people together, even in the darkest moments. The challenges of love. Love is beautiful, but it is not always easy. Loving someone requires effort, understanding, and sometimes sacrifice. People may argue, face misunderstandings, or go through painful experiences. However, true love is not about perfection. It is about growing and learning together. Sometimes, love also means letting go. This could mean forgiving someone who has hurt you or stepping away from a toxic relationship. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you choose what is best for everyone involved. How to show love. Love is not just about words. It is about actions. Here are some simple ways to show love. Listen. Give your full attention to the person speaking to you. Listening shows that you care about their thoughts and feelings. Be kind. Small acts of kindness, like a hug, a note, or a kind gesture, can make a big difference. Be patient. Love takes time to grow. Be patient with others and yourself. Support. Stand by the people you love, especially when they are going through tough times. Say I love you. These 3 words can brighten someone's day and make them feel valued. Love is everywhere. Love is not limited to people. You can find love in nature, art, music, and even in your work. Watching a sunset, listening to a beautiful song, or creating something with your hands can fill your heart with love. Love is also about being grateful for what you have. When you appreciate the little things in life, you open your heart to more love. Conclusion. Love is the essence of life. It connects us, teaches us, and makes us better people. While love may not always be easy, it is always worth it. Whether it is a small gesture or a grand act, love has the power to change the world. Remember, love starts with you. When you choose to love, you bring light and warmth into your life and the lives of others. Love deeply, love fully, and let love guide your journey.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Feel terrible. Mean. Explode. Accident. Familiar. Place. Coincidence. Knock over. Regret. Apologetic. Feel guilty. Unfamiliar. Love at first sight. Let's try that faster. Unfamiliar. Apologetic. Love at first sight. Explode. Regret. Feel guilty. Mean. Feel terrible. Place. Knock over. Accident. Coincidence. Familiar. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Mean. 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 Knock over. Knock over. Knock over. Familiar. 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 Coincidence. 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 Place. 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 Hello everyone, welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today with Erica, we have a very aggressive lesson for you today.
That's true. We've got a revolutionary lesson.
Yes, today at English Pod, we're protesting. So Erica, why don't you tell us what a protest is?
Well, when you protest something, you go into the streets and show your disagreement.
Right, and you yell and you have signs and everyone's just protesting.
And the news comes, and if it's not clear now, it'll be clear after the dialogue, I'm sure.
Definitely, definitely. So why don't we start with our vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
We have 2 words in our vocabulary preview today. The first is bankrupt.
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 So if a company goes bankrupt, what happens?
It means the company doesn't have any more money.
So it can't pay salaries.
It can't pay
Can't
anything.
pay its bills, yeah. So basically, if it's bankrupt, it's probably going to close.
Exactly.
Okay, our second word today is bailout.
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 B-A-I-L. Bailout.
So a bailout is when the government gives money to a company that is about to go bankrupt.
That's true. It's emergency money that will help save the company. Well, these 2 words are taken directly from our dialogue. And in today's dialogue, we're going to bring you live to a newscast.
Right, so why don't we just listen to the dialogue?
This is Action 5 news reporter Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C., where a protest has broken out. Thousands of angry citizens are protesting against the proposed bailout of the auto manufacturing industry. Sir, Sarah O'Connell, Channel 5 News, can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, we're here because we feel this is an injustice. The financial irresponsibility of big business has to stop. We're here to show the government that we don't like the way they're spending our tax dollars.
Sir, but what exactly is making everyone so angry?
It's an absolute outrage, Sarah. The U.S. government wants to give $25 billion of taxpayers' money to the auto industry. These are companies that have been mismanaged and are now nearly bankrupt.
I see. But many supporters of the bailout argue that it could help save the jobs of millions of hardworking Americans.
That may be true, and I, for one, don't want to see anyone lose their job. But how can these CEOs ask for a bailout when they're making millions of dollars? And then they have the nerve to fly to Washington in private jets. This costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're asking for money. That is just not right.
Good point. This is Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C. Back to you, Tom.
Wow, these people are really angry.
I think they're furious.
Well, I think they have some good points, and we'll talk about that later. But now,
It's time for language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Yeah, there was some great language in this dialogue. A lot of language we use to express our anger.
right. And one of those words, and the first one for language takeaway, is injustice.
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 An injustice.
So, an injustice is something that isn't fair.
It's totally unfair.
It's unfair, yeah. This is an injustice. Let's look at our second word, outrage.
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 An outrage.
So, Erica, why don't you give us an example on how you would use outrage?
There's no more coffee. This is an outrage.
Yeah, there we go. That's an outrage. Okay,
Let's go to our next word now.
breakout.
Break out.
Breakout.
Break out.
So, we have some great examples on how we use breakout, so let's listen.
Example 1.
War is broken out in Antarctica as countries of the world fight for control of the icy continent.
Example 2.
Officials are warning that fighting could break out in the border regions.
Example 3.
A forest fire broke out last night.
Well, this is a wonderful phrasal verb that means...
To begin suddenly.
Okay, so I think that's pretty clear.
Yep,
Yeah.
breakout.
Let's go to our next word now.
Mismanaged.
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 So when something is mismanaged, it's
Not managed properly.
managed poorly.
Poorly, right.
Yeah. Our final word today is
Have the nerve to.
have the nerve to.
Have the nerve to.
I think this one also is a little bit difficult to understand.
Yeah, but we have some great examples prepared for you, so let's listen to them.
Example 1.
I've been in love with you since the 3rd grade, but I didn't have the nerve to tell you.
Example 2.
I don't believe it. You have the nerve to ask me for money when you know I've just lost my job.
Example 3.
What? You have the nerve to bring your new girlfriend to visit my mother.
So have the nerve to is like dare to do something, right?
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah.
Have the nerve to. It's like, I can't believe you would do that.
Yeah, I think that's quite clear. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of great words in our dialogue today. And also, we have some really interesting grammar in today's dialogue.
Right, so today, let's look at some grammar breakdown.
Grammar breakdown.
In this section, grammar breakdown, we show you a particular grammar structure and explain a little bit about how that structure affects meaning. So it's not really about getting the grammar perfectly right. It's about understanding the meaning.
Right. And in today's lesson, we saw some really great examples on how we use the present perfect tense.
Let's listen to an example from the dialogue.
Where a protest has broken out. Where a protest has broken out.
See the verb here, break out, like a protest has broken out, happened in the past, right?
Right.
And it's still going on now.
Exactly.
So present perfect is used when we're talking about an event that happened in the past and is continuing on now.
Exactly.
Or is continuing to affect now.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, but now if you want to indicate or if you want to demonstrate that the action has finished, the event is over, then you would say it like this.
A protest broke out. A protest broke out.
In this form, you see that the protest is over. It happened yesterday already.
Right, and I think it's really emphasizing the fact that it is no longer affecting the present moment.
Exactly. So remember the difference between present perfect and simple past. Now, if you want to know more about these tenses, present perfect and simple past, be sure to go to our website at englishpod.com. In the grammar section, you can find some more great examples and a really clear explanation on how these tenses are formed. But now we are ready to listen to our dialogue a second time.
This is Action 5 news reporter Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C., where a protest has broken out. Thousands of angry citizens are protesting against the proposed bailout of the auto manufacturing industry. Sir, Sarah O'Connell, Channel 5 News, can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, we're here because we feel this is an injustice. The financial irresponsibility of big business has to stop. We're here to show the government that we don't like the way they're spending our tax dollars.
Sir, but what exactly is making everyone so angry?
It's an absolute outrage, Sarah. The U.S. government wants to give $25 billion of taxpayers' money to the auto industry. These are companies that have been mismanaged and are now nearly bankrupt.
I see. But many supporters of the bailout argue that it could help save the jobs of millions of hardworking Americans.
That may be true, and I, for one, don't want to see anyone lose their job. But how can these CEOs ask for a bailout when they're making millions of dollars? And then they have the nerve to fly to Washington in private jets. This costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're asking for money. That is just not right.
Good point. This is Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C. Back to you, Tom.
Okay, Erica, so what do you think about this situation?
About the bailout of the auto industry.
Yes.
I think it's a bad idea.
Why?
There's so many reasons. I mean, I don't think it's fair for us as taxpayers. Well, I guess I'm not really an American taxpayer, but I don't think it's fair for the taxpayers to have to pay for the mismanagement of these companies. I mean, they've got so much debt. They've produced cars that nobody really wants to buy, and now they're in trouble, and it's not our money that should be spent on saving them.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, but you do have to take into consideration the fact that if these companies go bankrupt, thousands of people will lose their jobs. And not only the people that work at the factories, but also people that work for other companies that supply these factories.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Marco, but at the same time, we can't support an industry that isn't working properly. I mean, if one of these companies goes bankrupt, it's going to be terrible, but it will force the other two companies, perhaps, to manage themselves better, to streamline and become more efficient. I just think it will be better in the future.
Well, it could be, but also maybe all three companies can go bankrupt. It would be sad because the American auto industry is a symbol of prosperity.
Yeah.
It's also the symbol of like the American culture in general.
I guess that's true.
So it would be a shame for it to go bankrupt because everyone owns a car in the United States, or most people, and it's just something that we can't lose. But it is an interesting topic, and we also want to know your opinions about this. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
An event where people gather together to show disapproval of something.
Protest.
Start suddenly.
Break out.
The act of saving a company from money problems.
Bailout.
An unfair situation.
Injustice.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Manage badly.
Mismanage.
Dare to.
Have the nerve.
Let's try that faster.
Manage badly.
Mismanage.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Start suddenly.
Break out.
An event where people gather together to show disapproval of something.
Protest.
Dare to.
Have the nerve.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Manage badly.
Mismanage.
An unfair situation.
Injustice.
Dare to.
Have the nerve.
Start suddenly.
Break out.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
The act of saving a company from money problems.
Bailout.
An event where people gather together to show disapproval of something.
Protest.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Protest. We are organizing a protest this weekend against the tax increase. Bailout. If the government doesn't give a bailout to the auto manufacturing industry, all the factories will close. Break out. Officials are warning that a war could break out between Andorra and Samoa. Injustice. You are not going to give me this job because I'm a woman? That is an injustice. Outrage. The death of millions of starving children is an outrage. Mismanage. Bob, you've really mismanaged this project. Have the nerve. I've been in love with you since the 3rd grade, but I didn't have the nerve to tell you. Protest. We are organizing a protest this weekend against the tax increase. Break out. Officials are warning that a war could break out between Andorra and Samoa. Mismanage. Bob, you've really mismanaged this project.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you a great office lesson.
That's right. But actually, I hope this situation never happens to any of our listeners.
Exactly. Today we are firing somebody. So
Yikes.
It is a little bit complicated, but maybe you're an HR manager, maybe you are a supervisor, and you'll have to do this one day. So gotta learn how, right?
Exactly. All right. Well, why don't we get started then as we listen to Isabel and Anthony.
Hi, Isabel. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Anthony. Come on in and have a seat.
Is everything okay? You seem a bit preoccupied.
Well, Anthony, this is not going to be an easy conversation. The company has made some decisions which will have a direct impact on your employment.
Okay.
I don't want to beat around the bush, so I'm just going to come out with it. We're going to have to let you go.
What? Why? I mean, just like that, I'm fired?
I'm sorry, but to be honest, you're a terrible employee.
What? I resent that.
Anthony, you were caught making international calls from the office phone. You called in sick 8 times this month. And you smell like alcohol.
He did sound a little bit like he had too much to drink, huh?
I know, he had that kind of
Slur.
yeah, that slow way of talking that made him seem a little bit drunk.
Well, that's definitely something you don't want to do, is show up to work with alcohol in your breath.
Exactly. But you know what? There's a lot of great language in this dialogue, so why don't we take a look at it now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, well, I want to look at 3 words here. Now, the first one, Anthony said that Isabel was preoccupied.
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 Okay, so if somebody is preoccupied,
They're not focused.
maybe they're a little bit worried.
Yeah, they're thinking of something else.
Okay.
Why don't we take a listen to a few examples of how this word is used?
Example 1.
James is really preoccupied. I think he's having some family problems.
Example 2.
Oh, were you talking to me, honey? I'm sorry. I'm just really preoccupied with work.
All right, so very clear now, preoccupied. Let's move on to our next word, direct impact.
Direct impact.
A direct impact.
All right, so again, Isabel told Anthony that the decision will have a direct impact on his career.
Mm-hmm.
It will have a noticeable or impact or effect on his career.
Okay, so a direct impact. And what about our last word?
Well, Anthony said, I resent that.
Resent.
Resent.
Okay, now this is spelled exactly like resent, like with an S, right?
That's right. R-E-S-E-N-T.
But you pronounce it like a Z.
Mm-hmm. Resent.
Resent that. So what does it mean if you say, I resent that?
It means I find that insulting.
I find that to be not true.
Yes.
Okay, I resent that.
All right, Marco, well, how do you use this word?
Well, if somebody tells you you're lazy,
Okay.
right?
Then you might say, hey, I resent that.
Right. I do a lot of work. I'm not lazy.
Yeah, so it's always something that you use after someone insults you.
Right. Or says something that you find to be not true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Resent that. And I guess with this, it's time for us to listen to this dialogue again, and then we'll come back and look at some great phrases.
Hi, Isabel. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Anthony. Come on in and have a seat.
Is everything okay? You seem a bit preoccupied.
Well, Anthony, this is not going to be an easy conversation. The company has made some decisions which will have a direct impact on your employment.
Okay.
I don't want to beat around the bush, so I'm just going to come out with it. We're going to have to let you go.
What? Why? I mean, just like that, I'm fired?
I'm sorry, but to be honest, you're a terrible employee.
What? I resent that.
Anthony, you were caught making international calls from the office phone. You called in sick 8 times this month. And you smell like alcohol.
Yeah, well, there's some wonderful language in here that you can use when you have to have a difficult conversation with somebody.
Right, so let's take a look at these phrases in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
We have 3 phrases here, and the first one is to beat around the bush.
Okay, beat around the bush.
Beat around the bush.
Okay, so this is an idiomatic phrase.
Mm-hmm.
So before we explain it, let's listen to somebody beating around the bush.
Okay, the one thing that I want to tell you, it's so important that I don't like, sometimes when, all right, here's the deal. This is it. Specifically, it's not this, it's not that, it's not you, it's not me. It's everyone. It's everything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So as you can tell, the person has something to say, but
they're taking a long time to say it.
Right, you're kind of looking for the right or maybe more polite words to say something.
Exactly.
So that is to beat around the bush.
Now, the opposite of to beat around the bush is to come out with it.
Okay, come out with it.
Come out with it.
So maybe you're talking to your friend and he's beating around the bush, so you can just say, hey, come out with it.
Tell me.
Tell me, just what is it?
Exactly.
Right? Come out with it. Be direct.
When Isabel finally came out with it, she told Anthony that we're going to have to let you go.
Let you go.
Let you go.
So this is actually a nicer way of saying you're fired.
Yeah, it's a little bit more polite, isn't it?
Right. We're going to have to let you go, or...
I was let go from my company.
Right. So a synonym for to be fired.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's listen to Anthony getting fired one more time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this difficult situation.
Hi, Isabel. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Anthony. Come on in and have a seat.
Is everything okay? You seem a bit preoccupied.
Well, Anthony, this is not going to be an easy conversation. The company has made some decisions which will have a direct impact on your employment.
Okay.
I don't want to beat around the bush, so I'm just going to come out with it. We're going to have to let you go.
What? Why? I mean, just like that, I'm fired?
I'm sorry, but to be honest, you're a terrible employee.
What? I resent that.
Anthony, you were caught making international calls from the office phone. You called in sick 8 times this month. And you smell like alcohol.
So, Erica, have you ever fired anyone?
I have fired a lot of people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You are a mean person.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are some people who really do silly things like come to work drunk. And if you do that,
you're obviously going to get fired.
Yeah.
But in the United States, actually, there is an interesting way of firing people. They get a pink slip.
Oh, yeah. But I guess this is just a little bit different than getting fired. You get a pink slip when you get laid off.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, if you come to work drunk, you get fired immediately, right?
Yes.
But when you get a pink slip, so it's basically a little pink paper that tells you that you have been laid off.
Yep. And so when you hear somebody say, we sent out, so when you hear somebody talk about pink slips, like our company sent out 500 pink slips, that means that 500 people got laid off.
Or I got a pink slip today.
That means you got laid off.
Right.
Yep.
That's actually interesting because I don't know any other country that actually has this
a special color
for firing people.
Yeah. How about in your country? Is there a special color for pink slips?
If you guys have any stories as well, maybe about being fired, or maybe you've had to fire somebody. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Worried, thinking about something else.
Preoccupied.
Connected to, related to.
Direct.
Strong influence or effect.
Impact.
Avoid saying something by talking about other things.
Beat around the bush.
Say something directly.
Come out with it.
Have someone fired or dismissed.
Let someone go.
Use to say something directly.
To be honest.
Find something very insulting.
Resent.
Call the office to say that you can't come to work because you're sick.
Call in sick.
Money or benefits you give someone when they are fired.
Severance package.
End in employment because of business reasons, not performance.
Lay off.
The action of ending employment because of business reasons.
Layoffs.
A letter written to tell an employee he is fired.
Dismissal letter.
End the employment of a person. Fire.
Terminate.
Let's try that faster. Strong influence or effect.
Impact.
End the employment of a person. Fire.
Terminate.
Have someone fired or dismissed.
Let someone go.
End in employment because of business reasons, not performance.
Lay off.
The action of ending employment because of business reasons.
Layoffs.
Avoid saying something by talking about other things.
Beat around the bush.
Use to say something directly.
To be honest.
Call the office to say that you can't come to work because you're sick.
Call in sick.
Find something very insulting.
Resent.
Say something directly.
Come out with it.
Worried, thinking about something else.
Preoccupied.
A letter written to tell an employee he is fired.
Dismissal letter.
Money or benefits you give someone when they are fired.
Severance package.
Connected to, related to.
Direct.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Preoccupied. James is really preoccupied. I think he's having some family problems. Preoccupied. Oh, were you talking to me, honey? I'm sorry, I'm just really preoccupied with work. Preoccupied. John was so preoccupied with his deadline that he forgot to attend his cousin's wedding ceremony. Impact. Our overtime costs are having a direct impact on our profits. Impact. The news scandal is having a direct impact on the president's approval ratings. Impact. This decision is going to have a direct impact on our success. Beat around the bush. You really shouldn't have chosen John as your debate contest partner. You know, he's always beating around the bush. Beat around the bush. Please don't beat around the bush. If you want to break up, just say so. Beat around the bush. Stop beating around the bush and tell me what you have to say. Come out with it. What are you trying to say? Just come out with it. Come out with it. When will they come out with it? We know they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Come out with it. Don't keep secrets from me. Just come out with it. Let someone go. Due to the economic crisis, we will be letting some employees go. Let someone go. I can't believe it. After 12 years of working here, they let me go. Let someone go. If you continue to make this mistake, we're going to have to let you go.